You are listening to Within Tolerance, a podcast for machinists by machinists. I'm your host, Dylan Jackson of Protium Machining, and this week we are in the shop in Protium with Justin and Zap. Thanks, guys, for coming out.
What's up?
Not too much. Was kind of an adventure getting this all set up, but I'm really glad we got to.
Yeah, we got smited.
Yeah.
We got smited by the podcasting gods.
We did get a little cocky. We were like, oh, we got this together so quickly.
Yeah, it's been so easy. And then like all the time was troubleshooting the fucking Roadcaster where they have lots of good information about or not really good information, just you can hook up a USB mic, no problem.
Listen, I don't want to hear any complaining because we solved the problem. And if you rewind the clock like 20 years, we would have been reading pages of manuals to solve this.
I love that.
I know. It'd be like you diagnosing problems on a FANUC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is your bread and butter.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, Zap, we were just on together. Mm-hmm. So, Justin, give us a little bit of an update.
Sure. We have been working super hard on getting ready to release our cam automation for Toolpath. The big focus has actually been on workflow. The underlying tech is getting to be pretty solid. There's always bugs that need to be fixed, but overall, the focus is on making it more usable. There's some weird irony in the sort of winding path we had to take to get here, where if you wind the clock back 3 or 4 years, we were doing all kinds of crazy stuff pushing into Fusion. I think that impressed a bunch of folks, but it was kind of like a Wizard of Oz moment where the integration with Fusion was really smooth, but the underlying tech was not so foundationally strong. So we fixed that. But to fix that, we had to get rid of all the distraction of the Fusion stuff. So now that the foundations are stronger, we're working more on the integration stuff. And so actually that's why I came out here, was to work with Brad to start pulling in and seeing if we can have him program parts for Protium using Toolpath. And so that's a bit of a new experience for me, because basically I'm forced to deal with every single wart and bump of the software. And there's no hiding it, right? If I'm in my shop and something doesn't go right, either I can do another take, or I can take an extra 5 minutes to work around it, or I just know the trick. But when I'm working with a customer, especially Brad, who hasn't used Toolpath a lot before, and he was very understanding about some of the bumps, but there's no hiding it, right? And so every usability issue becomes a roadblock. And it's kind of wild to be in this place where the user interface for Toolpath is the thing that we have to develop to get it to be usable now, which feels like an accomplishment, but is still a big hill to climb and pretty stressful, because I'm not great at designing user interfaces, and also they're weirdly hard to do a good job with. So
yeah, I mean, it's tough to, in any aspect of anything, make something that is widely usable.
Right.
People are so specific that making something where the things that you don't like are still acceptable is really tough.
Right. And so we're in this kind of bizarro, uncanny valley, I guess, where we kind of have a new way of doing cam. And that sounds more grandiose than I mean it to sound, but nobody has ever done cam with something acting as a solver or interaction before. So I guess the closest I could imagine coming to this experience is when you're wrestling with Fusion and you're why can't I get it to do the 3D toolpath the way I want? And then you hit a button and you kind of pray that it starts working. But now you extrapolate that out to a system that's choosing tools and choosing machining orders and choosing setups. And so coming up with a constraint system that makes sense to a human to rein the system in. So recently we had an interesting problem where there was a part, and it was a 3-op part, but it's what we call a multi-touch part. There just had to have been a blend on a series of walls. You had to touch them twice.
Mm-hmm.
And Toolpath came back with 4 ops. It didn't make any sense. The 4 ops didn't make sense. And sometimes we call that try hard mode. Toolpath is I can't quite get this one feature from this direction. So it starts coming up with, I guess hallucinating would be the best term there, but it starts coming up with these wild strategies to try and complete the part. And then if I just told it, no, these are your 3 setups. If I constrained it, and then it's oh, cool.
Right.
And then gives exactly the right answer.
Nice.
And those 3 setups were in its original search space, but because it had so many options to choose from, it just was 7 ops.
Right.
And so sometimes just giving it one little constraint, oh, here's your first op, or use these 3 ops, or no, use this tool, can really reduce the search space. And then all of a sudden the answer goes from this is total crap to, oh, okay, this is exactly what I wanted. And producing a system where people are okay with that, like the first answer you get may not be exactly what you want, and you have to tweak it and go around again. But the tweaks aren't like a specific toolpath or a geometry selection. It's like at the part level of like almost as if you were trying to tell somebody else how to machine it. And then they come back and they're like, did I do it right? And you're like, no, I meant this.
Right.
So that's what we're struggling and working through right now, but making progress. Maybe not as fast as we'd all like, but making progress.
Yeah. It's
Awesome.
a fucking incredibly hard problem to solve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if it was easy, it would have been solved 10 years ago.
Right. Yeah. It is nice to be in the place where that is the part of the problem we're starting to tackle.
Yeah.
And then I get to start moving on to like the next generation of problems. So I'm starting to think about 3+2. We've done a lot of cool work on like undercut stuff that I'm pretty proud of. Yeah. So I get to go a little bit farther ahead of that, but the rest of the Toolpath team is like stuck in this uncanny valley situation.
Right. It is funny that it seems like the general sentiment from your team and from people entering this space in general is that like it's all or nothing.
Right.
Like I always have viewed this as like super advanced clippy.
Right.
Like, hey, I see you want to machine a part. Let me get you 70% of the way there.
Yeah.
And like, I'm super happy with that. Like, oh, cool. You got all my roughing done. You got some of the contours done. Sure, I got to do some cool, 3D stuff, but like, that sounds great to me.
Right.
And it seems like a lot of people approach this of like, well, I just can't hit play and get a part.
Right.
And I'm angry about that.
Right.
It's like, dude, it's 70% of the way there. That's a win in my book.
Yeah. I think some of that is on us to provide a workflow where where the constraints feel more natural. And admittedly, right now, there are some challenges in the Toolpath UI where it's not obvious to you how to like make the change.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was more obvious, then it would be less frustrating. So a lot of times right now, like the answer is get it down into Fusion and then edit what you want to edit. Or sometimes it's go down to Fusion, edit the setups, and then send it back. And we're working on that. Other things are like, I don't want you to use this tool. I want you to use that tool. Or this like, okay, here's like a weirdly challenging problem because it's basically ill-defined. How many tools should we tell Toolpath to use like on a normal program, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a Speedio here, you have 21 tools. I think most of those pockets are full right now. What's like a reasonable number of tools?
20.
20?
I mean,
But it's not. Like that's not the answer. Like if I gave him a program that used 20 tools, he'd be mad at me for it.
Red, if you gave me a program that could use 20 but could use 8, I would be upset. Yeah.
But if it could use 8, but 9 would include your rougher and it'd be way faster with 9 than you want it to use 9.
Right.
And so, but then sometimes like you only want it to use 9 if it doesn't need 20 kind of thing. And so there's this like curve and
Yeah.
So that's like an interesting problem where like the user doesn't even know what the answer they want is until they can like, and so we have to find a way to give you like really quick access to like all these options, which we haven't.
That changes depending on the part. Like, am I making one of these or am I making 100,000 of these?
I mean, it also changes like if I'm making an aluminum or a stainless part, because like I might only have 4 pockets open and I don't want to unload my machine because I need to make an aluminum part next. So this stainless part has 4 tools it can make it with, right? Like, because that's all, or I'll take like 1 out or something.
Yeah, it's fairly subjective.
Right.
It sounds like a very hard problem. I hadn't even thought of that problem.
Yeah.
In addition to all the other ones that you're tackling.
So we have a knob like in Toolpath in the cut config where it's like, how many tools should Toolpath try to keep your program in? And it's a soft limit. So like, if it's like, look, this bad boy needs 37 tools. I literally cannot do it without 37 tools, and it's going to give you 37 tools. But if it can do it with the 7 you've asked it to do it with, it won't choose to do it with 8, even if 8 is faster. And so that's like a knob, but is that a good enough knob? And are people comfortable using that knob? And then because of all the things we just talked about, like even figuring out what number to set that to as your default can be weird. So I think one of the magic things about like ChatGPT and Grok is that you can just use normal language to talk to it.
Mm-hmm.
And we are thinking about maybe integrating an LLM as a layer in between where you could say like, no, please just always use my rougher. And then the LLM would like figure out how to set our settings. But really defining like a valid constraint language for machining is like never been done before. So it exists for like sketchers in CAD. And if you roll the clock back like 30 years, that had to be invented. Like every new type of constraint was like a major advance.
Mm-hmm.
Symmetry, tangency, horizontal, vertical. And then coming up with like sketchers that behaved well in the absence of a completely constrained sketch is also like really underappreciated. Like mathematically, it's incredibly hard. And sometimes you'd have an unconstrained sketch and you'd grab it and you move it a little bit and it'll just like go everywhere. Most of the time nowadays, though, it'll like move a little bit in a pretty reasonable way.
Mhm.
But if you go back like 25 years, it didn't behave that way.
Right.
Like unconstrained sketches, if you moved them a little bit, they would just explode.
Right.
And so we're kind of in that area in the AI world now for machining where like we have to apply constraints and the sort of infrastructure around an unconstrained answer hasn't grown enough to like reach the norm that people expect. But yeah, so it's a real user interface challenge. And it's great to be in that part of the problem, but also incredibly frustrating to be in that part of the problem. Yeah, it just takes time to fix it. And every little bit of control that we introduce into the UI chips away at that problem.
Totally. Yeah. Awesome. Zap, what are you doing out here?
Got a customer in Tempe that is pretty cool. It's a big, really big DMG shop. These are like some of the big, like it's crazy. They have like DMC 80s and like 4 of them and like 4 DMC 125s, which are the, like that's like 800 millimeter diameter parts and like 1.25 millimeter diameter parts. And the C means that they have the pallet pool. So they're just like huge. And then they're also FD. I learned all this nomenclature this week, which is like meaning that they're all mill turns, which is also crazy. And they actually use them, like, which is neat. You don't really see a lot of people actually.
That's a lot of energy.
It's insane. They don't spin very fast. Like the 80 spins at 800 and the 125 spins at 500. But I'll tell you what, like when you have a piece of stainless like that big around, like I don't know, half the size of the table or whatever, it looks really fast. It looks like it's moving really fast. I got my first like really cool like DMG experience that I hear about where like we tried to send the pallet home and like we got all these alarms like that it didn't have any of the axis drives anymore. and like it was running tests and all this other bullshit. It was like, what the fuck? Like we have to turn it off. I was like, oh, okay.
Just like mid pallet change.
I mean, like it didn't even start the pallet change. It just like I did it I did it at a sequence or something. I don't know. And it was just like, nope, try again.
So is there a sticker on it that says, did you try turning it off and turning it back on again?
No, that's not very German.
It's like waking somebody out of a deep sleep and asking them to do something. And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, what do you do to me? It's like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
No, like, oh, these machines, I feel like this is like such the DMG owners' dilemma is they're like, these are the best machines I've ever used when they work.
Right.
And it's very finicky. I mean, like
60% of the time works every time.
In the group chat, like Juan sends us like some of his plights. Like he had some crazy fucky issues recently, and you're like, what the fuck is going on with these things? But they're like, apparently they're the best because people just keep buying them. Like this shop was like all DMG, like only DMG.
I mean, the same is true of like supercars, right? Like the more you pay, the less reliable the car gets, but the more awesome it is at the same time.
Right.
I mean, like that's a toy though. You know, like a supercar's a toy. Like these aren't toys. Like this is their whole business.
Yeah.
It was a little bit different. Or it should be different. When they're up, they're great. And like people are like, it's very bizarre because all the programmers there are like the C-less controls like shits on Heidenhain. It's way better, way easier to use. And it's like, I guess I don't really like, I'm a fan of guy. Like this just seems like there's a lot of like weird button pushing. And it's like, oh, to reset the alarm, you have to hit this button and this button. Like, okay.
I mean, Heidenhain folks can't claim like to turn it on, you have to hit 17 buttons and there's no documentation about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The CE button is just like, if you don't know, you don't know. Like they literally did that the first day in training at Herma. He's like, so we turned it on. How do you get it to actually turn on now? And everybody's like, I don't know.
The Datrons are like that.
Push the power button again.
But we all hit the green button. We hit like the power on button. You like undo the E-stop and you're like, nothing's working. He's like, you hit this tiny little CE button on the keypad.
You
cool.
Fool. Yeah. Demonstrate it for us live.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So I've been doing that. I was in California last week, but like just like I just go hang out the Waveguide guys, like, which works out because they're like, hey, you know, like we have a little bit of something else going on, but I have like a desk there that I can go work out of, which is cool. But we're probably getting another project with them because I didn't realize like I talked about it on the last one too. Like I had just been over there, but yeah, I mean, like I'll say it again, like went from 15 hours to 10 hours, which was really cool, and like improved the tool life like 1.5. You know, like
That's a lot.
A huge difference. And like the parts, they're like way more consistent, and I guess like the quality's better. There was like, oh, I was there because we had one program that was like, they're like, oh, it's a little off, you know, and then I'm like, oh, it doesn't make any sense. Like it's the same as all the other ones. And then I went there and I looked at the report, and it wasn't a little off. It was like it was a lot off, like a lot. And then so I like look, and it's like, I see it. It was the only one when I imported the tools, like one tool was wrong. Like, it just came in as the wrong diameter in Mastercam. It was right in the machine. But so it was like, oh, in Mastercam, it was a 1.5 millimeter tool. And in the machine, it was 1.3.
So the center was off.
Yeah. And we were off by like 9,000 in the feature. And so it's like, oh, that's that.
That math.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like, it's like, fix that, sent it back. And like, yep. It was like within a tenth of what it should have been. And it's like, cool. We did it. We nailed it. And then they're like, you want to do this other one? Like, yeah. Okay. And then and that worked out because the reason I went to California, those fucking guys, which that'll probably work out all right. But like we just didn't do anything, you know? Like I was actually supposed to be there this week also, but they weren't ready for us. And these guys were ready for us sooner. So we just switched them out. But that was a fun one. Also like an adventure in like why we don't milestone bill anymore, because we like got into the project and they're like, oh, like we're evaluating like the print, like Doug's going through like the print in the model, and he's like, there's like a lot of features missing on the model that are in the print. And so we go back and we're like, hey, what's the deal with this? And they reach out to their customer and they're like, oh yeah, we just gave you those parts. Those were parts just a quote. They're actually different. And then they gave us the real models, and we're like, we had programmed like one whole part completely. That changed. And then we're about halfway through the other one, and that changed. So we had to go back. And that was like a good pause, which was like so necessary. Like we went there with the intent to cut. So I showed up, you know, we were in California on a Monday, and then they don't have the tools. Then all the models changed. And then I go down there to like see what the tools were, and they had only ordered one of each of everything.
Sick.
And
it'll be fine.
And they were like, oh yeah, and the machines are wrapped up till Thursday. And I was like, guys, I was expecting to cut this week. Like, really? And it's just this weird thing of like it gives you an insight into how a company works that like this isn't, they regularly go to the machine without a program being complete, you know, or like just starting without actually starting. Oh, we're ready to do this, but the machine's not open, whatever. And then, so we, through all that, this was all, I don't know if I talked about it on the last one, but these guys, is a 150-hour project that they wanted to cut in half. They don't want to pay all of it up front. So I was like, okay. It changes the tier of hours from like 170 to 180. No problem. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. So we did that. But like through the reprogramming, we exhausted all the hours. We're out. We're like, they paid today, but we reached out to them. We're like, hey, we're out of hours. So please pay or we're done. You know? And he's like, what do you mean? We haven't cut anything. And like, we thought we were going to pay half up front, half when it's done. Like, why would we make two payments so close together? It's like, I don't know. This is the exact reason we don't mouse. Like, it's like everything changed and you didn't have tools. Like, this is not our fucking problem, you know? And it's like, we broke it in half because you asked for it. That's the only reason. And I mean, it worked out. They paid, but it was just like such a weird exchange of like text messages. Like, we're good for the money. Like, sick, pay. And then they like, I won't say it, but it was just like such a weird email back to us, like by mistake almost, like, I don't know.
Yeah. I think you need to penalize people more for that.
Yeah.
$10 an hour is not enough.
Yeah.
It should be like $50 an hour.
I mean, we are getting busy enough and people are saying yes frequently enough that we do need to like really consider like ratcheting up.
like you should raise your rates regardless. Yeah, if you're getting that much work. But I'm just saying that like if people want to do not your typical workflow of your new workflow of upfront, you should be like, that's fine, but that means that you go from like 170 to 250 an hour.
So I mean, the way it is technically in the workflow, we just like, instead of doing it all, like we just gave them the option to buy it in 2 75-hour chunks instead of one 150-hour chunk, and that's like just knocked them down the tier, which is like, if that's your prerogative, that's your prerogative. Like, because this exact situation is we ran out of hours, so I just hard stopped Doug working on the project, go work on something else. Like easy peasy. And then we get paid in 3 days, so then he'll pick it up in 3 days, And
I more mean like if people are clearly not understand, like
that was,
you knew that this was something like this was gonna happen from the beginning,
right?
It was not that like they were like, oh, we don't have the budget to do all 150 up front. It was like, we don't like doing that.
Yeah.
And like those are the kind of customers that I'm saying you should be, well, okay, that's fine.
I had thought that we were clear. I mean, this is like, it feels intentionally obtuse and like in bad faith when he was like, oh, I thought we'd pay half after, because like that was never fucking discussed.
Yeah.
Like not even a little bit. We have a lot of receipts about it, like in emails and whatever. Like that's just not how we do business and not.
I don't honestly. To me, it sounds like it worked out fine. Like
it did work out fine. It is just like the frustrating aspect is this like these moments of like it has happened. It's the toughest thing is that like we're doing things somewhat differently than what's like standard to the industry.
Yeah.
Like they owe us money right now, but they have been probably one of the best customers we've ever worked with on the technical side in terms of like providing information and everything. And they have paid for like the previous project we did with them that we also haven't actually finished yet, like because the parts are like so nasty. Which is like we had to redo the process to a point where it's like it's not programming related like whatsoever. So we just aren't involving you, which is like sick. They're not like wasting my time. Like, oh, can you do these little things? They like we did it enough that they can like handle it. But and so like with them, they're like I get same deal with fucking everybody right now. It's why we're like going through and like really redoing the entire website. I don't know if I said this on the last one either.
You did.
But yeah, it's like, so exactly. It's just like we're redoing the entire website specifically around just like customer education. That's like that's all it is like, this is how we do things.
I think my point though is that the system it's functioning as intended. Like you are working in a non-standard way,
right?
But it works well for your company.
Yeah.
You should expect that your customers at some point are either going to, I guess the saying goes, never ascribe to malice what you can ascribe to ignorance. Like they will either like intentionally or unintentionally misunderstand the situation despite your.
Yeah.
And so you just have to be comfortable being like holding the line.
Putting the daddy pants on is pretty tough.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're like, fuck. Like, especially when I'm like here,
right?
Like I come down, it's like, I want to work with you guys. Like he's like, we got to figure something out. And I was like, we do. Like, we really do. So like, and he's like, so he went away, came back, and he's like, okay, he's like, I can't. He's like, it's moving. They're a big company. He showed me like, he's like, it has to go through. He showed me their ERP system, like the steps it has to go through to like for me to get paid is like, it's like 10 steps. And like this person. It was like 15 people have to like give it even though it's already approved by the site's GM, like all these other jackwagons have to like get their grubby little mitts on it and be like, yeah, we did it. We're doing stuff. And so it's moving, but it is like, but I was like, hey, I was like, you owe us money. And he's like, you guys get paid up front for this? And it's like, isn't that document I sent you? And he's like, really? He's like, isn't that 30 standard? And I was like, people do like to try and do that. Yes. Like, yeah. It's like, but we don't do that. No,
We are not your bank. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. It's like, and then we have like just examples of that where we've done it. It's like, but you program the parts, help them run the parts on the machine. They ship the parts to their customer. They're paid. And it's like, we're still like evaluating the invoice. What the fuck are you evaluating? We did it. We're done. Like, come on, man. But like to your point, like that is the frustration. Like, but we've had like a lot, like, but they paid, like, I don't know, bringing in probably like by the end of this week, we'll probably brought in like $40,000 or something like that, like from various projects, which is, it's good. It's awesome. Like it is working. And like the biggest issue we have right now is me. Like I'm just I'm a technical bottleneck at the moment because up until this week, I was the only lathe guy. We just hired a guy to do lathe work and he's like very good. I'm very excited to have him, which is also cool seeing how like the system works. Onboarding somebody is like a much crispier experience than it's ever been before. Cause like we just have like with the Asana stuff and everything, being able to plug him in, like just start him in the morning meeting and like, these are the things you're working on. This is like where the documentation is in box and whatever. It's just like very well defined and lined out. So he's not like, well, what do I fucking do? You know? And so, and I mean, obviously, there is that to a certain extent where we're just finding the holes in the stuff that we didn't notice because we're living in it kind of thing. And so that's also somewhat refreshing. But yeah, overall, like in terms of the billing side of things, the technical side of things, and like the Asana project management side of things, like it's like, I for sure have said this before on this podcast, but like I feel like it's like an actual reality and that like it's more crystallizing. I think we've found like a very sustainable and like scalable solution to this whole problem or our problem. It's like the thing that I need to like do is really get myself out of the way more. Like I'm the only one that travels right now, which is fine, but that's all I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Like trying to do in the company, I'm the only one that does Fusion right now. So all my Fusion customers are suffering because I'm like slow.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to be fast when I spend like 8 or 10 hours in front of a machine and then like try and go do something else. It's like, but also I'm selling and like doing a lot of customer interfacing.
So is the solution to have more people currently in the company get comfortable with Fusion, or to bring more Fusion people on?
I think it'll probably be bringing a Fusion person on. I don't want to hire anybody else this year. Like that's just like not that there's much time left in the year, but I think I just need to struggle through the situation and really feel out like the current, like just our current, like, I guess, culture or whatever, and like, I don't want to grow. I did that before where I grew too fast and without a system, and we have a system, so it might help, but like growing way too fast, it was a house of cards and it just collapsed so quickly. I brought Doug on and and Michael Morton's been like, and his wife, I guess they're like a team. They've been very helpful on like the operations and bookkeeping side, which is cool. And like that's been keeping things running smooth. So like he's been very integral to like the whole system aspect of it, like staying like on track and like keeping it going. And so like bringing Doug in, he's been with us for 4 months now, and then now bringing on, and that's been like, he's so fucking good. I don't want to ever lose him. And now bringing Steven on, I'm like also very excited, like, but I want to like feel that situation out and then go from there. I don't want to be like also I don't have the money for that. It's very precarious. So eventually, yeah, need to bring on like to your other question, like having the other guys like get comfortable with it. intended, like initially was like, oh, Doug, we want you to get good with this. It's never going to fucking happen. I mean, it might happen, but like he's so busy in Mastercam and Hypermill that there's just no time. And like, that's fine. You know, like it's like, God, you're making so much money this other way.
Yeah, stop what you're doing making money and learn Fusion.
Yeah. And so Steven is good with Esprit and he's okay with Mastercam. So like I can just like start throwing stuff at him, and it also just like kind of levels up like where we can, like, because we bought it, it's like, oh, when we have a spree we can go after this other work, but then is like, I can't go after that other work, like I can't do shit.
Right.
I'm fucking, I have no margin. It's totally consumed. So like we have this tool, we can't use it, like we're kind of like turning work away, you know, because we just like, I just don't have the capacity. And like our lathe customers are also kind of suffering because I don't have the capacity. So brought him on, and we have like it timed up like very perfectly, kind of with like, I mean, I hired him like 6 weeks ago, and it just so happened like through that whole process, we started a project the day that he started, you know, like same day. And we have like it's like 8 parts, and we have like a month to program them all. So we have like, it's a pretty like leisurely pace for like onboarding into our system. It's like, it's good.
I struggle with this idea of like, there's no time to learn.
Yeah.
Because that's like never applies to me. Like I just make the time. And I think like when you own the business or you're in charge of the business,
right,
like the rules are different. But employees, it's just sort of a different, and it's not a good thing or a bad thing. It just is a reality. Like if they're learning new skills, it's like to level up their career or something. And when you're younger, people talk about that, but I don't know, at some point people are just like, these are my skills and this is how I'm going to get paid. And I'm not expanding that any further. Or I will expand it further, but only if you pay me extra, or like it just like the motivation to like you just picked up a spree and you were like, okay, I'm going to do a spree because I need to do it for this project. But the same can't be expected of your employees.
Right.
And there's this like
and
uncrossable gap that I don't fully understand.
Right. And I will say to that point, like I wouldn't like, just to like kind of close it. Like I wouldn't, if Doug came to me and was like, I really do want to learn Fusion, and I'll do it on my own time, sick.
Right.
You know, I like, fine. Like, or give me a Fusion project. I probably would give him a Fusion project, you know, like we'd have to schedule it appropriately. Like couldn't give it to him now because we're
you have too much other stuff.
Yeah. And, but like we could like work it into the schedule type of thing. But if he's like we've talked about it, and he's like into the idea of learning it, but he also really fucking likes Hypermill, and he's super jacked that we got Hypermill now. So it's like, can we just do more of this? And it's like, yeah, I'll do whatever makes you happy. Like, I'm okay with that. Yeah. We'll figure that out. Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. I think since the last episode, not much has happened. Like I finally dug myself out of the hole that we were in, which was great. We're staying on top of projects. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, we're having the CMM problems. Like, so since I replaced all of the airlines, the CMM was showing weird 3D issues, like checking perpendicularity on like even very tiny surfaces. It would show like massive deviations.
Teach you to fix anything.
I know. Yeah. And then we got a quote to get it fixed and calibrated, and it was way too much money. But thankfully the guy who owns the company talked with me, and I was like, I think that maybe I explained our problems a little wrong. And like I was like, listen, like all of the airlines are already done. I think it's slightly out of square and just needs a calibration that I don't even need a cert for, really. And he was like, oh, yeah, I can redo that. No worries. And then in the meantime, I ended up buying a much newer version of our CMM from Ethan Perrin. And that'll be here probably before this episode comes out. I'm guessing probably tomorrow. And so they're going to calibrate both of them. They're going to set up the new, I mean, I'm going to set up the new one, but they're going to, recheck it and calibrate that one as well. And so we'll have 2 manual CMMs, which will be great. Very excited about that. And then, that's kind of it.
It's just like funny sitting here, like, because we had an episode released this week, and it's like, I guess, like, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I talked about this, like not that long ago.
Yeah.
How long will it take to get the CMM set up and calibrated?
A day? Yeah.
Could I film a race of you and Brad CMMing the same part? Each one of you on the CMM?
Probably. Yeah, we could do that. That'd be fun.
That would be fun. That's a good meta class as well.
Yeah.
We'll see if it comes tomorrow. And if it comes tomorrow, we'll set it up and play around with it. It'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we got a ton of questions, so let's just dive into them. A few from the Patreon. Let's see. Colton first asked, if you had to buy a new 3-axis mill, 30 by 16 roughly, in aluminum only application, what would you buy?
VF2.
Yeah, VF2.
Yeah.
No budget concerns. Just what would you buy with a 30 by 20 or a 30 by 16?
Yeah, I mean, probably VF2. I mean, I guess you could get one.
Yeah.
You know?
You need the W, 30 inches.
30 would be, well, this is 27 by 14.7, something like that. So it would have to be a W.
I mean, if you want to go low end, you could get the Sile X9, fit that size. Yeah, which would come in around 50 grand, I think.
The biggest thing with the VF2, like assuming he's not paying cash, is like the financing through Haas is just amazing. Like it'll be like your lowest down payment, your lowest like APR, like everything about it is like sick fusion post most of the time. Well, did I talk on here about my buddy, like about they updated the post and like kind of wiped out like IPR tapping?
No.
Like a little bit? Or
I think we talked about it though.
Yeah, so he was like, he calls me and he's like, I've been beating my head against the wall for 2 hours with this. He's like, it'll tap the first hole fine, and then it just starts moving really slow. And we look and like it goes G95 inch per rev, and then the G81 tap cycle with the feed rate in like the pitch, and then immediately goes back to G94 for all the rest of the holes, but it doesn't like do anything with the feed. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, and so I went and I pulled up a program that I did like a year ago that on a Haas ad tapping, and like posted it with and like used the new post, and sure as shit. Like, and I went and I used the old post. It was fine. So they just like did some like weird fucky update that made like IPR tapping.
This is why I keep all my posts in GitHub.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's like,
or I would just say like the big thing is to go into preferences and turn off auto updating of your posts.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, that's a checkbox.
That seems like the worst idea.
Yeah.
It's like auto update based on Fusion library or something. Like it goes in and just grabs the newest of whatever
which is like
Autodesk pushes.
Just like out of control. Cause like I think of all of them, that Haas post gets fucked with a lot.
Oh yeah.
Like they are doing a lot of business. But I mean, if you're in like the high speed, like Haas's are made to cut aluminum.
Yeah.
And like they're like VF2 is pretty affordable, like as is, and like for all the other reasons, just crazy easy to use, and like it'll do the job.
I think it depends on what you're making too.
Yeah.
Like if you're making motorcycle parts or something,
right.
VF2. Like if you're making high-end waveguides or something, I'd go Makino or Matsura V Plus or something like that. You know,
even one of these probably.
Yeah, maybe. I would want something with thermal comp.
That's true. Yeah,
potentially scales if possible.
You could probably get around it with like a JK coolant system,
right?
That just like keeps the coolant at like a constant like 95 degrees or whatever it is. Right. Like it's hot, but it's consistent.
Yeah,
so like
heat soaking your machine.
Yeah, so like the whole like you get around the thermal issues by just keeping everything hot as fuck.
Right.
Which like it works. Like I've seen it work.
But even like a Matsura,
we're doing
VX 660, I think they have.
That's 660. Like
I guess that's still not enough. Yeah. So the VX 1000 though, that would fit.
And that's a big boy. That's like a 40, just under 40 by like 24 or something
like that. Yeah.
Which that machine, I do like that machine a lot.
For the cost, it's great.
For the cost, it's a
Quasar builds a great machine, and then the Matsura a good Maxia spindle.
I always want to say Step Tech, but that's GF.
GF, yeah. Yeah, so I guess it really depends on the parts. Like aluminum only tells us the material, but doesn't tell us the tolerance band.
Right.
Like I would not want to be fighting a Haas if I was doing super, super tight tolerance work.
Right. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you're making motorcycle, car parts, stuff like that,
It'll do.
possible day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, basically free financing if you have a pulse.
It's nuts. Yeah. I do that shit to people all the time. I'm like Haas's financing is like this. You're good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You can have a machine.
Yeah.
Money, please.
Do you have an aunt with
Where-
an okay credit score? Like, she
Where
can
do you
co-sign.
get a line on the machines that people couldn't pay for?
I don't know.
That has to be happening.
You mean
Like they must be repoing machines.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where do they go?
To like the dealer will take them or
Take them back.
yeah, and they end up like in storage all the time, or they get auctioned.
Yeah.
You know, they'll just like auction them off your floor. Sorry.
Yeah. Second question from Colton: favorite aluminum roughing tool?
XFPS.
Yeah.
Next,
Okay.
yeah. Raw.
I think we've
Next
talked
question.
about that enough.
Yeah.
Speaking of AXFPSs,
Yeah, I destroyed one. Yeah. Real fast. I chucked apart. I haven't proven this yet, but almost certainly I just didn't tighten the vise enough, which means I even have a torque wrench in the drawer.
you're still not using it?
I just
You're
didn't. use
driving
it.
me nuts.
Dude, you got to make.
I do use it on the soft jaws every time now, but for some reason I wasn't using it on the gripper jaws. I
Okay.
usually just gronk on it. I'm gonna have to start using it, obviously.
make like a little holster with 3D printed holsters.
No, I mean, it's right here, like the door, and there's the ratchet, and like
Oh,
like an inch.
I thought you said it was in a drawer.
It is, but the drawer is like
Get
right
Get
here,
it out of the drawer and just put it right there.
right there. Yeah,
'Cause,
maybe.
yeah,
We're
that's
just going to Edward 40 hands you.
This is some-
It's going to be stuck there. It's going to be one of your hands.
It's-
from now on.
it's something that like Andrew Henry talks about a lot on lane builds is like once it's in a drawer, it's fucking gone forever.
Well, no, but like turn around and look at the machine because the drawer it's in is like right at your hip,
yeah,
like it's sitting right there when the
Right,
drawer
but
is open.
but it's hidden, and it's not hidden if it's on the machine.
But it's okay. It's right next to the ratchet that I grabbed instead. There's no excuse for this. Like I could have.
Oh,
grabbed
so like the drawer was open.
Yes,
and you
the
were
drawer is
looking
open.
at your choices, and you're like,
Oh.
nah, not the good one.
Like, get the fucking ratchet
Yeah,
and just use the torque wrench
that's
incorrectly.
the right
Yeah.
answer there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So probably I just tightened it. The only other option that I can think of is that, I mean, I've never seen this before, at least on those HWR jaws, but like it was probably the tallest cut I've taken in an AXFPS. It was
Mhm.
basically full flute depth. There was like this much material that just needed to be mowed away, but it was, I don't know, eighth of an inch thick material. But really tall cuts have a lot of load.
Yeah.
I often forget that like your radial depth of cut, it's like exponential, the load
Mhm.
curve. So honestly, it could have just ripped it out of the jaws.
You did like a full facing pass. Like,
yeah.
oh yeah, that'll do it. When it gets really thin and like wonky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
it could have just ripped it out of the jaws.
Yeah.
But I don't think it did because when I pulled the part out of the chip tray, it wasn't like all distorted or anything. Like it just like there were just like it didn't look like it had ripped out of the jaws.
yeah.
So I think I just didn't tighten the vise.
All right.
And that, ate an
Yeah.
XFPS.
And little column A, little column B.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Maybe both. Yeah.
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 Presetter versus Renishawa OTS.
I used to
Renishawa.
I'm going Renishawa. I think like presetters have their place, but
You can't do breakage detection.
you can't
I
do breakage
Do
detection.
option 3 of a Blum
Oh.
Z nano.
That's true.
Sorry, I assumed it was tool setter in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we not do an OTS?
That is, I agree. The optical one is weird. Yeah.
The Blum Z. I mean, you can get a wired OTS.
well, that's
Or
then it-
whatever the
is it-
TS27R or something. Yeah.
Oh, is
Yeah.
optical. Yeah.
And they have the RTS, which is
Radio.
Yeah.
which those are cool.
But I just don't like the little 90-degree arm. Like I've seen more of those broken
Right. I mean,
through like random shit, just like
Truly.
setting tools.
I would take the Blum Z Nano over just about everything because I don't ever check the diameter.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, occasionally the laser's sick because you can check flutes and get really nasty with that, but that also like introduces a bizarre amount of error that like you'll get. It'll fuck you more than it's actually helpful.
Do you know they have a It's a smaller version of the Z Nano that's supposed to be for like really tiny tools.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's the smallest tool you can tool set on yours, or you have tool set on a Z Nano?
10,000.
10,000, no problem.
No problem.
That's cool.
Full send, like
That's hot.
All right.
tool breakage even too.
Yeah.
With
Okay.
10,000.
That was him slapping his wiener on it.
That's how I knew. All right. Alexander asked, I'm a college machining instructor, and for the first year since I've been at this college, our first year enrollment is very low for machining. Speaking with other instructors, this is a problem across the state. What ideas do you have to help recruit for machining? At this point, I have more jobs than I have students available for those jobs. Machining has a marketing problem. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows what welding is, but machining is stuck in the unknown.
Yeah.
First robotics.
First robotics.
Like find a machine you can haul, like bring a Bridgeport to a First Robotics and like take a facing pass and blow everybody's mind. Yeah.
I mean, like my old instructor said that typically when the economy is doing okay or well, their enrollment is always low. It's always when it hits bottom that they see the highest enrollment of people looking to reskill and go back into the workforce. And so maybe that's a sign that we haven't hit rock bottom yet, which is scary.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I think first robotics, I think anything like that, getting more making into schools, like schools earlier than high school, I think is where we need to do it.
And that's like 3D printers
Mhm.
and like desktop stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the Makeera that I saw at Open Source, like bring one of those to a job fair at high school, pop it down and just make keychains.
Are those actually okay? Did it look okay?
Honestly, like for what it is, like it was on a fucking wooden folding table, shaking itself to pieces. It was still cutting all right.
It looked okay.
it
The
could've been
tool
worse.
change was like 45 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking about a different one. I was
Which one are
thinking
you
about
thinking
the one
about?
that was outside.
Which one was outside? That was also a Makeera.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Oh, no. That was
That
the
was-
DMC2.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Sheriff DMC2,
Yeah.
which is surprisingly beefy,
Right.
which is fine. That's also a fine machine. Yeah, the Sheriff DMC2, the Pocket NC, the Makeera, the Bantam, like pretty much all of them,
This is
fine. You just can't you just can't go crazy.
Right.
It's really what it comes down to.
This is like a very interesting. Hold on, this sparked a thought or like a memory. I guess is like when I was in California, the GM of the facility was like, "My kid is so mechanical. He likes to 3D print. Like, what's the next step? He uses Fusion. Like, what's the next step? Like, what can I get him? Like, it's like he bought $150 go-kart and he's just been wrenching on it. It was supposed to go 30. He fucked with it, made it go 50.
That's
You know?
amazing.
Yeah.
I now regret buying him that go
Right.
kart.
he made the clutch in a way, like he's like, he fucked with the clutch. So like when he like pull started it, it was like so sensitive. It like just engaged itself and then it fucking took off while he was like still holding it. But he was like, what's the next fucking step? That was why I was asking about the Smile. Cause I was like, how much money do you get to like throw at him?
Right.
And there's like this weird, I mean, it is like a weird gap of like, how do you get like 10 to 15-year-old kids into machining without throwing them at like one of these or even out of style, which is like, it's like for us, that's like low,
Right.
but that's a lot of fucking money for somebody who's just trying to get their like kid.
It's also
interested.
like very likely to remove parts of your body if you're a
Right.
15-year-old kid and you
Right.
just plop somebody down in front
Yeah.
of that
Right.
machine.
I feel like, I mean, it seems like maker spaces have gone away. Like they don't seem as prevalent anymore.
I mean, I think it's liability stuff
Yeah.
in general.
and so
But honestly, like the Bantam, extremely easy to use. I found the Pocket NC a little hard. I got to play with one the other day. I found it surprising. Like the interface and everything was fine. It just wasn't what I was expecting.
Mhm.
So I guess maybe just the workflow there was a little different. I haven't tried the Makeera stuff, so I don't know what that workflow is like. But the Sheriff, I'm sure, is like very, very easy. Those are very approachable. And you can make a lot of stuff with an 1/8 inch end mill.
Right.
So that's honestly my answer is like plop it down in front of kids and be like, look, I made your robot part. Here, it's done. Here it is. Yeah.
That's a good one. I feel like we need someone to develop a curriculum around one of those then. Because like I know that's the biggest thing.
Yeah,
you know, being married to a teacher, if somebody just like gave her a Makera, was like, start using this in the classroom to make machinists.
Yeah.
Right.
She'd be like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll turn it on every day and look at it. Like,
Right.
what do you want me to do with it?
Yeah.
You know, without like an instruction manual and like a series of lessons. It's more or less
the
useless.
question was from an instructor at a CNC.
Right. But
Yeah,
his whole thing is, how do we spark that earlier? I think how like
Right.
him teaching with a Makera is not going to bring in more people, more enrollment to his professional level classes. This is
I mean,
stuff
that's
we
a
need to
long
start.
Yeah, that's
Like, this is a long
tail.
play. Yeah. So I'm saying that like I would love to just invest in like 4 or 5 Makeras and give them out to high schools and middle schools that I know and that I like. That would be like rolling up to a middle school or a high school with like an old, Fox body Mustang of like, here, you guys can fix this.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, we're going to donate it. Take the money.
Nobody can fix that.
Right. Like,
Yeah. I mean, that's a really good idea for, a cam automation company to do for marketing,
there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Zach asked, Toolware comp question. Should I have the wear comp in the machine or leave it in the cam software? Mastercam user. He says he does 85% job shop work and 15% production. Backstory is he only has experience in job shop environment where they program right next to the machine. He's become the lead 5-axis programmer and is starting to program for other people in the shop so that he can work on other complex stuff at the same time. We don't have any operators really, but not everyone has 5-axis experience. Do I let anyone make adjustments needed, or do I switch the controller wear comp to in control, I guess,
It depends.
or a computer?
It depends on
and
how your tool's numbering is set up. Like if tool 7 is always tool 7, then you can have one way. And if tool 7 could be a different thing when you switch jobs, then leaving wear in the control is really risky.
that's where, I mean, the easy way out of that is just is to put if you're doing repeat job shop work and stuff, is you just G10 line all your wear at the beginning,
Right.
and then you wipe it all out at the end of the program every time.
Sure. But then somebody has to hand edit your program to hard code that wear in there as things change.
Yeah. I mean, but it's just like editing, like adding it to the table,
Right.
Yeah.
And that's
then
true.
If it comes back and then it's already there, and then you have a starting point from where you were before, more or less.
If people are willing to edit the G code,
Which I mean, I understand where he's coming from, but you're creating a fucking nightmare for yourself. Absolutely. And that if you have to edit every program for I need to move this one tool 1,000.
Right.
Can you do that for me? And it's during that time, your machine's cooling down or whatever, is it might be more by the time you get back there. It's a weird situation to be I think if nobody's an operator and it's mostly programmers and setup guys, you're probably in a good enough position to trust people to just make the offset adjustment.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing is be standard across the board.
Right.
Like if you're going to go to wear, which is what I think you should do.
Yeah.
Everyone uses wear. Every machine uses wear.
Every
G10 lines make me a little nervous. I think for the production stuff, it's fine to add those. But
yeah.
Personally, I would just have it as part of your setup procedure that you just go through and go through the tool table. And unless you're setting 100 tools or something for a job shop part, but I don't know, most parts are 10, 15, 20 tools, and you just walk your way down the tool table and just wipe them out if you need to.
I did this for Easton too, where we just added when we touch the tools off, it just wipes out all the wear values, including the diameter values for that tool.
Yeah. I need to change mine actually to do that because I've been bit by that. I think both Brad and I have been bit by that recently.
Are you writing your own tool change? Are you modifying the toolset macro directly?
I will. Yeah.
Your own?
Yeah.
What I did for him probably just works for you.
Did you do it for the Speedio or for
For the
the
Speedio.
Oh, okay. Then
Yeah.
yeah. Because I know it already passes the tool number as a variable, so I'll just have to use that to look up the
Yeah, it's super
macro variable. But yeah, I would go with wear. I find wear much easier. I find I find putting the radius or diameter value much more dangerous than a wear value. Like wear value, like worst case, I'm like 5/10 off, not like an 1/8 inch off.
Yeah.
Switching tools.
Yeah. Whoopsies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unless the tool is the wrong size by a millimeter.
Yeah. Well, listen.
The times I like to
I can start to try to fix stupid, but like I'm stupid myself. So
play the game, defeat the idiot.
I will say this though, and just caveat that I don't have anywhere near as much experience as you guys, but humans are unreliable robots. And so I get nervous anytime you say, and there's a process, you just go through your tools and like somebody's going to forget.
Dude.
He is a 13-year-old robot, the most unreliable in every way possible.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. Anytime you expect a human to like remember to do something, I feel like you're asking for trouble. And so,
well, that's what I mean is like, if you go to wear, your first piece yield might be a little lower because of slight errors, but it's never going to be a catastrophic error. It will always be.
But I think Zapp's, so I agree with using wear as a concept, but whether you do it in the tool table or you hard code it in the G code is what I'm distinguishing.
So I would rather have a single program that wipes all wear from all tools rather than have it at the header of every program and only wipe the tools I'm using. So, is what I'm saying. Like I want my posted code to be my posted code and not edited.
Yeah.
So like if I was going to do it that way, I would just say, okay, every time you set up a new job, you run program 1001 and it wipes all the everything from the control.
Yeah.
And then I can put and start setting tools again. Like I would personally, I would rather do that.
Yeah.
Like,
that's fair.
And then if I needed to add wear to tools that were standards, then I would put that in the production code. Yeah. But for like job shop stuff, I want it to be straight out of Mastercam in this case.
Yeah.
Chris asked, I would love to hear specific examples of ways to improve outdated processes involving mill setups in a job shop. I've been working on 2 old Fedals for 4 months, taking over legacy parts that were run by an older machinist. I feel like standardizing is the easiest way to save time, but changing programs that are older than me can be daunting.
Ooh.
I have been working in a machine shop for 3 years, started lathe programming last year, and got moved to the Fedals in the spring.
He kind of hit it. Like the only way forward is through is like, if you're talking about like running a machine that's been on the floor longer than you're alive, you just have a fuckload of work ahead of you to fix it. And like a lot, we've done it at like in Maryland where like changing tools and changing all this other stuff. It's just like after you realize your operator is unreliable, for instance, it's just like, we just have to start we can't use the legacy jobs because the vise is 70 thou bigger. The new vices are 70 thou bigger in this one direction, and 90% of the time that doesn't matter. And then the 10% of the time it's a fucking crash.
Right.
Or like you saw that picture I sent of that customer with where they didn't set the PG tool correctly. They just tried to swap it out and they started cutting with the collet, like made it really far. You remember that picture?
Yeah.
And it made it like really fucking far. And it's like, the best way I would say is like the whole like plan your work your plan, like kind of thing. And like, just like, what do you like standardization, pick your tools, like what are the tools we use the most? Boom. Okay. Now every job that comes in, like if it's a repeat job, you're reprogramming that job. You don't need to like go through the backlog and start reprogramming shit that you don't need, like that you don't know if it's coming.
Right.
And you just do it on like an as needed basis. Everything new gets the new process, and everything old that's coming back, you have to convert it. And so you might be able to, like, from a timeline and a like cost standpoint with the customer, you might be able to like get like a little bit more money out of them to like, hey, we're going to improve this or whatever. So like blah, blah, blah. I don't know.
This specific case is really tough. You have a really old machine with a really old program.
Yeah.
It could be like no.
It might be.
Yeah. Those old controls have like if you just throw Fusion at it, like the code might work, it might not work well.
It might not have enough memory
You're not
Right.
using
for a single adaptive.
And so like the amount of work you have to put in to like fix that. But he asked about improving setups and things like that. So I guess I would start by like really analyzing what you have. Like, is this program like, could you put a 0 point in there? If your problem is changing over vices or work holding, like if it's just top center of stock, like could you, like it doesn't care. Can you add stack up and put a 0 point in there? Like what kind of things can you do that are like really high return on investment without like changing the process?
Right.
I agree. I mean, this was a large part of my job at my last job.
Right.
Was decoding hand program code stuff from like Wildfire. What is that? I don't even remember what the software is called.
Like the
Creo. But Creo before it was Creo. Pro-E, yeah. It was Pro-E Wildfire. And like we didn't have a license of it anymore. It was like, okay, so I would go to like NC Viewer, backplot out the whole thing, and then go line by line and be like, all right, so where's my 0 point? And like look at the print and all of this. I would say like you were saying, like 0 point would be great, but like even just starting out with really good documentation, like taking really good pictures, documenting everything so that the next time you hit that setup, you're like, okay, I can look at all my pictures. I know what the tools are supposed to look like. I know what the setups actually look like and, you know, aren't black and white pictures or like really shitty cell phone pictures from 20 years ago or whatever. And then, yeah, this is a place where like I would use G10 lines. Like, okay, if I can set it up in a 0 point and then start using G10 lines at the beginning of every program to shift my work coordinate to where it's supposed to be, you know, top center of the stock based on the vices and all that stuff.
Probably a corner because it's that old. It's not a probe. They're using an edge finder and the corner's the fastest way to find it.
Yep.
Right.
So it's like definitely a corner. almost definitely.
Yeah.
So the G10 lines are like so clutch for that.
Yeah. So then you use one of those
taster.
Well, a taster or even, you know, even just like plot out from your 0 point to the corner of the vise.
Yeah.
And then figure out how much you want it in to be in the center of the vise and just do all that math. And then use one of those little, what are they, rulers with the little adjustable stops and just have that in your documentation of like, set the stop at 3 inches and hit go. And you're like, where you're supposed to be. That's where I would start. That was really good documentation because my guess is that if it's that old, you probably don't have good documentation to start with.
Doubt it.
Yeah. Donovan asked, any leads on NX, CATIA, or Esprit training? It seems that Fusion 360 programming experience is not in demand in his area.
Not really.
I don't know if any free.
I mean, depending on which kind of Esprit you're doing, there's like this guy that sells a set of DVDs that is like the most boring shit in the world, but it's pretty effective. He goes through like the whole thing.
Set of DVDs is like the most 90s thing ever.
Actually, I have to look.
I just see like an infomercial playing in my head. Like,
yeah, exactly.
For 5 payments of $9.95, you can get these.
Like NX and CATIA, like I don't know. I don't even think that people that offer training know how to give training for that. It just seems like they're just like, and that just because the software is like so complex or whatever.
NX, I think there's a fair bit of videos. They're all out of India. They're all really hard to understand. But if you go look on YouTube, I feel like there's a fair bit of NX stuff. And then also you can download the free 30-day trial of NX, and there's a bunch of learning content in there as well. Like projects you can go through, videos you can walk along with. So I would do that. I don't know about CATIA though. I've literally never. I don't know that I've ever seen a CATIA splash screen, let alone like what the software looks like.
I agree. Yeah, never.
Like, have you?
I used CATIA CAD in college for a little bit. It's really in the aerospace industry.
Yeah,
okay. So, yeah. But not CAM, just CAD though.
Right.
Yeah. But not, I mean, like it's supposed to be very SolidWorks-like in its user interface, but that's all I got. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right. First one from Instagram. Lone Wolf Precision, if you were appointed as benevolent supreme leader of manufacturing growth in the U.S., what would you do to encourage and promote manufacturing? So we just talked about this. Yeah. I mean, I think we kind of went over.
Well, there's more. I mean, there's more to it than that, really. Like, because I mean, we have the option to be China in this situation.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Which
That's
is
true.
Like being able to subsidize material and and like really offset the cost of things so that we could like we can actually compete on the global, like, well, I guess compete with China for real.
Right.
Like, you want to subsidize aluminum? I'm going to buy so much aluminum, you're going to regret this.
Yeah. Well, like, and even I would push like the skills competition.
Yeah.
I would raise the prizes to be like, oh, you win skills for high school, you get 50 grand, you get 100 grand, and like start pushing those down into middle school even.
Yeah. And like really just firing up, like, I mean, like truly actually being like free firing up, like, I mean, not the specific company, but like US Steel and like all these other things to be able to produce material in the States again.
Right.
Like textiles and stuff like that and whatever to be, I mean, that's kind of, we're like leaning towards like isolationist a little bit, but just being able to compete.
Yeah.
I think that there is a different level of manufacturing that goes on over in China now that we just never, like, like post World War II, we built up this huge industrial base, but modern like electronics manufacturing, it's like not fathomable to bring it back over here. And that's not just because of a pay issue. I mean, that's part of the issue, right? Like subsidies, but also just like the skills and the understanding. And I think like there's no way to get through that, but to spend lots of money on the problem.
Right.
But to be frank, I would actually start with like more energy independence, like wind turbines and solar panels, and like building up that manufacturing capacity.
Yeah.
And then using that to bootstrap other stuff.
I like it.
Yeah. That's smart.
Yeah. But I guess it's all comes down to just have the government throw a fuckload of money at the problem and fix it.
You have to, it almost has to be done inefficiently.
Yeah.
From a capital standpoint.
Yeah.
If you try to be like, how do we really efficiently make lots of money while training lots of people to become good at manufacturing? You're like, it's not possible. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think everyone that lives in this country knows that we're very good at burning money as it is. So like, we might as well burn money doing that. Right.
Yeah.
All right. John at the shop said, if you don't have probing, would a 0-point system still be worth it with the tolerance stack up?
Yes.
Absolutely. 100%.
You can use a Heimer.
You can use,
in fact, if you don't have probing, a 0-point is more valuable.
Right? Yeah.
Because you probe less often.
Yeah.
Yeah. The tolerance stack up is not that much.
No.
You're
And
talking about systems that repeat within a few tenths at every joint. So like, you know, you got a riser and a vise and you're like, oh no, worst case, I'm
and it's
4 tenths out from where I thought I was.
Pretty repeatable.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like once you have your, I mean, like it's how I, like when I set up Kevin the first time and I put the work offsets in he didn't have a 0-point, but like just the same idea is like we have 2 stationary work offsets and then everything is based off of that. So like you can just basically throw the material in there. I mean, we have probing, so we find it in X, but like if you have work stops, like you just throw that fucker down and hit go because it's there.
I think that's a really good point, is that you don't even need a 0-point to start using
that
and testing 0-point philosophy.
Yeah.
His other shop was, does it make more sense to run 3 of the same op with slower tool changes versus an op per vise? Say a 3 op part. So like 3 of op 1, then 2, then 3, or op 1, 2, 3, and vices next to each other.
I guess the answer is it depends, like always, but if I can do it, then I would prefer to open the door and get a part.
Same.
Every time.
Yeah.
Especially like I know we've talked about this, is like, because it allows you to catch errors like way faster. Like if you fuck up in op 1 or op 2 and then don't find it till op 3, you have a lot of time just like gone.
Yeah.
You know, it's just cooked.
I mean, there's like math that gives you the answer, right? Like if you're just paying attention to throughput, like you can figure out like what your batch delay is and like what your optimal batch size is. But I think like conventional wisdom and like practical experience would say like one piece flow. And then like only go above that if you like have to.
Yeah.
But he did throw in if you have really long tool changes. So I don't know if you're on a Makera and it's literally 50 seconds of tool change. And like, so your throughput would really get hurt by doing that. Then maybe it's acceptable to go up to a batch of 3.
Yeah. But I mean, knowing John, he also has a lathe. that can run parts, you know,
Right.
that do something. And so like at that
Yeah.
point,
So
that might give you even more walkaway time.
Right.
Like your slow tool changes might be a benefit too.
yeah. So like I would say only go to higher batches if you're throughput limited.
Yeah.
And you'd have to be like very, very throughput limited to really beat getting a complete part off the machine every time you open the doors.
Yeah.
Well, and I think there's a band there too, where like you have to be so throughput limited that you have to do batches, but not enough of an order to where buying a machine and financing it makes more sense.
Right.
And like that's a very narrow band, I think.
Yeah, I think Uriel and Devin have talked about this a lot.
Yeah.
Where Uriel's like the one piece flow, it's like it is technically more like less efficient, but I make parts faster and can sell them faster, so that's how we do it.
Yeah. Dan Pacific said, ask Justin how much of your time goes into being a CTO versus being an Insta machinist these days.
Jeez. It oscillates pretty wildly. More into being an instant machinist these days, but only in the sense that like the phase of Toolpath that we're transitioning into is about cutting parts. There was a debate internally recently. I said, we just need to cut more parts. I want everybody cutting parts. And then I got some pushback saying like, well, if you're, experienced machinist, if you're good, then we don't have to put it on the machine. It's enough to like stop at a good program in Fusion. And I was like, well,
wrong.
For experienced machinists, maybe that's true, but I am not an experienced machinist.
I would push back as like a somewhat experienced machinist that's fucking dumb.
Yeah. All I'm sitting there is thinking like, how many times did I think this is going to be a cakewalk part? And then I fail so miserably.
Like, so it's hold on. That pissed me off. Don't know until you fucking know. And the only way you fucking know is by cutting. Shut the fuck up and cut the parts.
Yeah. So it's a little bit different for us because like the parts work. It's not, I agree with you guys, but just to be 100% clear, most of the time we're not trying to get like a good part off the machine. And I know that sounds weird. Like I care about getting a good part, especially when I'm an instant machinist. But the question for me, it's really about like, there's a different degree of focus and detail when I actually have to put the part on the machine and remember to use a torque wrench so I don't throw the part, versus if I'm not going to actually do that, I don't have the personal discipline to be like, it's not really good enough. I should change that tool to my rougher. Versus like Toolpath said that it would use my finisher to rough. And that's good enough for now. Like I could have changed the tool.
Yeah, but I feel like there are more things to learn than just tool choice, is I guess what we're getting at. Like the part you helped Brad with today has that little diving board.
Right.
And depending on how you machine that, it could be Chatter City or it could be super easy.
Right.
And like those are the things that like you look at the Toolpath and you're like, oh, this will work no problem. And you put it on the machine, you're like, oh.
Which is
not
totally screwed this up.
Which is why I feel it's really important for me to be putting parts on the machine. I have always said that in order to build an AI that can program, I need to be a decent machinist. I need to empathize. So I agree with you guys. There is some truth to the fact that like the actual like pressing the green button maybe doesn't matter as much, but I don't agree that we can skip that step, that like simulation isn't enough.
No.
I just don't think it is.
No.
So trying to cut more parts, and then also like, I don't actually want to be an instant machinist. I'll be honest, like I'm not very good at being on Instagram. Like I struggle to use the app. Like I'm a boomer or something. I feel like
sick content with the glasses.
With the glasses. Yeah. The glasses actually help a lot, but I do feel it's important to like show people how to use this tool and to change expectations closer to what you said, Dylan, where it's like, okay, this got pretty close, and like the amount of work I have to do now is less than the amount of work, or even like this process is more reliable and repeatable, so I could have other people help me with it. Or here's how I think about constraining it when I don't get a good answer. And I think I'm afraid that that's just going to take some time. And so there's no way to educate the community other than to just show people doing it, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, hear me out. Changing Toolpath's tagline to the Clippy for machining. Don't say no immediately. Give it some time.
I love it. I love it. Our little mascot guy. I want him to be named Chippy.
I love it.
Yeah.
I honestly, if you guys could make that happen in Fusion for like April Fool's one year, where like they add in just as like, it looks like you're trying to machine apart.
Yeah.
Noted.
Yeah.
Me too.
All right.
Would you like to use a business template?
Exactly. Yeah.
A business letter template?
That would be amazing. All right. George says, first up, what did Zap bring for dinner?
It's fine. I didn't bring anything for dinner.
No, we did have burritos though.
We're the burrito boys.
Burrito boys.
We'll say. Because I was thinking about this. We haven't had like a breakfast corner in a little while.
Yeah.
That I've been getting really into Faye lactose-free Greek yogurt.
Okay.
You know, and not because I'm lactose intolerant, it's just good for your gut.
Mhm.
You know, with a little bit of jam and peanut butter. Fucking
Okay.
Good way to start the day.
There's nothing wrong with a little bit of food
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
Katie listened to one of the episodes recently and was like, you need to have Chris give me his cinnamon roll recipe.
Oh, right.
Because she heard that and was like,
my cinnamon rolls, fuck, they're so good. Especially like with the new update using the Texas Roadhouse and cinnamon butter.
Honey cinnamon butter.
It's like, it's a fucking game changer.
Your next challenge is babka.
Babka.
You have to look at babka. It's like Jewish cinnamon.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
so I was like,
No, I mean, sort of. Like it's Jewish. Yeah.
I'll come to Cleveland. I'll make it in your kitchen.
Okay.
oh, there you go.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Other question for you. How is Starlink so far? He's thinking about it for home use.
It's really good. I've only used it in places where people aren't, though. You know? So, like, and like, how good it is really depends on how many people are like pinging the satellites, you know? So, like, I've used it in like next to a lake. Sick. It was so fast. And I've only used it in places where like where people just aren't. So
Is that where you were sending us videos and stuff when you were kayaking?
No, I had like I had like a little bit of service.
Okay.
That was cool. About a folding kayak.
Yeah. Out of nowhere.
Oh,
You're like, oh, by the way, I bought this kayak and I'm going kayaking and here's a sick video of like a totally dead lake.
I was picturing you just like randomly pulling up to a lake and just stealing somebody's lake.
no, just like when I went to Graham's wedding, Graham got married. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Graham.
I had been like I used to kayak when I lived here. Like I used to go to Canyon Lake a lot. And I've just been like wanting to get back into it. And so, but I don't have a lot of space always. And so I was looking at folding kayaks and there was a guy selling like a pretty nice folding kayak in Bend, Oregon, in the middle of nowhere. And like my drive from way the fuck up in like Sandpoint, Idaho, which is like hella close to Canada, down to the Bay Area just took me through Bend. So I just like planned it out. So I would hit there at like 8 a.m. and buy this kayak and then just keep driving.
I didn't realize that you were specifically looking for one. Like you were talking about stealing someone's kayak. I had a picture of you just like seeing it on the side of the road, like somebody selling it, and just like backing up.
No, I just like
Load that boy in here, please.
Exactly.
I'll give you some cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
this is like such an aside, but like, man, the fucking folding kayak is so cool.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty nuts,
Yeah.
actually.
Those are super cool.
I was like, damn, this is nice. And I would never spend what it was new. It was like $2,000, like brand new for like the whole package. I got it for like $600.
Nice.
And like, I was like, I can do that. I can do that.
They look pretty new too.
It's pretty well used, but well maintained.
Good.
Yeah.
For all of us, what is the hardest thing you are avoiding in the business right now and why?
The crashing out on people that just may cause me massive frustrations with like, I mean, really like my problem is still my problem, which is like I was saying earlier is myself.
Mhm.
Like be like, oh yeah, I'll knock that out. And then just like getting so fucking wrapped up in other bullshit that I can't knock it out as fast as I would like to. And then also yeah, I think that's it. It's just like realizing that I need to like replace myself in a way, like on a computer programming technical level. But like, oh no, I really still have a problem keeping the schedule fluffy. You know, I like I'm like, oh, I can just fucking do this. And when it works out, and it never works out. I don't know why I keep thinking it's going to fucking
It's going to be perfect.
I'll never rest and I'll never sleep and it'll work out perfectly. So then you're like, oh, that was a 5-hour nap. Oh, my schedule's completely fucked now.
Yeah. Whoopsies.
Yeah.
I think for me, there are two problems that are interrelated, two challenges. The first one is with a company the size of Toolpath, we have like 20-ish employees. Now there are some things that are just out of my control. Either they're in somebody else's department.
Sound like a car.
Somebody come in.
No, I don't think so. I would have gotten a door notification.
It just pops in.
Dude.
Yeah.
That scared the shit out of me.
He like descends from the seat.
Yeah.
Like, guys, I got tape and glue. I'm ready to film right now.
Oh shit. Yeah.
All right, I'll start over for that.
Oh, I'm not going to edit that out.
No, you're
I'm leaving that in. All right, I'm leaving that in.
All right. All right. So I have dealing with the reality that there are some parts of this business that I just can't control. We've grown to the point where like I was involved in everything. And now there are some parts of it that are just other people's responsibility. And frankly, sometimes they don't want my input. And that can be very, very hard for me as a founder, as a CTO, as a board member. Sometimes there are decisions I don't agree with or I'm not comfortable with, and I just have to let it ride. And honestly, I'm maybe not the best at it. And sometimes maybe I let things go too far, beyond my comfort zone. So that's really challenging. That level of growth is challenging for me. And I'm not sure where I'm going to land there. But
is anybody good at that? Like knowing what you feel is the right way and just letting somebody you feel is fail? Like, I'm certainly not good at that.
I think there are people who
are
not even good at it. Like, I think they're used to scale and like they are focused. Like if you focus on the scale of the business, then like no individual problem matters.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so like this problem over here and that problem over there, like are less than like some overarching problem of why isn't this scaling? And so like if your job is up here to focus on scale, then like, yeah, I mean, like I can see that you're doing something dumb and I could fix that. And I might say like, hey, that's dumb. I wouldn't do it that way. But like, that's all the time I have. And now I'm so like focusing on scale. Yeah. So yes, there are people who are good at it. And those people tend to be the CEOs of successful companies that grow really, really fast. There's a good article called Letting Go of Your Legos that talks about how like companies that are growing fast, like you just exist in this state of always handing off stuff to people who are less qualified than you to do it, who are going to do it worse than you, even if it's not worse, like objectively, it's subjectively worse in your opinion. And you just have to get comfortable in there. So to be frank, yes, I think there are people who are good at it. And it's a skill that I'm working on. It doesn't mean that you can always, like sometimes the problems are big enough that they have to be dealt with.
Right.
But also sometimes you have to like construct a situation where the failure is acceptable.
Right.
Where like the consequences of the failure are more localized.
Like a bomb squad.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to put it. Yeah. So I would say yes. And if you're thinking about hiring employees or how you scale your business, I mean, you guys have said like work on the business, not in the business. That's what that means.
Right.
Right.
So yes, there are people who are good at it. And if you want to have a large business, then you have to strive to be like, that's the skill. So yeah, like, and then the secondary challenge for me is that I often get very conflicting input as to what would be good for me as the CTO to solve at Toolpath. So like one day somebody, and it could be like an outside advisor or somebody on our cab or board member or colleague in the company, any one of those people could be like, you should be working on the next thing, 3+2. Like you, Justin, are the CTO. What's going on right now is not your problem. Just let it roll. You need to go solve the next problem, right? Like go work on the next miracle. And I'm like, but we're not even done with this miracle yet. It's not ready. I want to like help here. And so that can be very, very hard when the very next day I get a phone call and they're like, flat tire, somebody needs to help get the tire swapped, like go solve that problem.
Right.
And the reality is that it's my responsibility to like filter all that input and then stand up and say, this is what I've decided to work on. And if you don't like it, too bad. Because it's my responsibility to make that decision. And so that's like the weight of leadership, and like the responsibility of like being a CTO or a C-suite person is really like being willing to basically stand up and say, this is the decision I made and I'm willing to accept the consequences of it. And yes, I heard your input and here's how I reacted to it, or here's why I set it aside. And I'm sorry if you don't like that, but I'm moving forward. But oftentimes I'm getting very, very conflicting input, and it can be challenging to process that. And sometimes I fail and I'm like, okay, I'll go work on what you said I should work on. And then I'll go work on what you said I should work on. And then I can get tired of both of those things and go work on what I want to work on.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of switching is also tough.
That's tough. Yeah. That's a lot of churn.
So sort of like taking all that input in and then being like, this is what I decided to do, and committing to getting it done, or getting to a point where a decision point, and then I can go on to the next thing is the other challenge.
Okay. I think mine is a little more specific. I would say that my hardest thing, or the thing that I'm avoiding most, is switching to hypermill, like cold turkey. And I think part of, like, I'm very good at making excuses on why I'm not doing it. I think a large part of it is I feel very uncomfortable feeling out of my depth. I've been so good at fusion for so long that having that flipped on its head and just being like, I don't know how to do anything, is very uncomfortable, especially when we're so busy with work like that. Those two just feel terrifying to me to combine.
Yeah.
So
that's understandable.
Yeah, I just need to get it done sooner than later, for sure. His last one was, any girl dead tips or tricks? He's got one cooking. Congrats, George. I have no tips or tricks. I'm still learning every day. I'm really not that many months into it. And right now it's like more baby things than girl things. It's just like, how do I deal with keeping this person alive? And you have kids and you are well equipped for that. So you're going to do just fine.
Probably too young for you to have gotten cut by her finger or toenails yet.
No, they're so sharp and they grow so fast.
That's the tip there.
Yeah, that is the
keep them cut.
She cuts herself. She has scratched herself and made herself bleed. She hates them.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely hates them. Yeah, so that I will say that. Cut them very frequently. I totally forgot about that. It's insane. Like
razor blades.
Like razor blades, and so fast. Fast.
Have you tried handing her parts to debur?
No, not yet. I'll see how she feels about it. Yeah.
That's very fun.
Ryan at Meticulous Engineering asked, things that you do weekly that make you feel like you're a machine. Example, the Toolpath for mowing your lawn.
I spent an insane amount of time like optimizing the mowing of my lawn. That's legitimately, like, I would experiment and I would like measure, like, okay, how long did it take? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because I dislike it so much that I needed it to be like as efficient as. Now I've handed it off to my 13-year-old robot and my wife, and so I don't care anymore. But yeah, I definitely like paid a lot of attention to like how much a turnaround cost me and what was the longest I could go before turning around. Yeah.
So Justin's answer is he is a machine and he doesn't need to feel like one. Got it. Okay.
That's a good question.
It is. Yeah, I can't think of a good answer either. I mean, like, just from a monotony perspective, I imagine commuting is probably the closest thing I have to like true road, like same roads more or less most days. And
yeah, I'd say I don't need a lot of sleep. So that's a good question.
Yeah.
Cleaning the shop.
Yeah.
Makes you feel like a machine. Yeah.
I have like a ritual, like my shop shutdown ritual is, and it's very often like very just me there. And so like I turn off the machines in a specific order. And if I turn them off in a different order, I guess I'm a little OCD or something like that. It feels weird. Yeah.
Like, oh, God, someone's going to die.
It just feels weird. Yeah. No, I don't quite go that far. Yeah.
Nick asked, why don't the 80s porn star safety glasses get more love? Can you guys discuss fulfillment? Like, what makes you happy at the end of the day? 2 questions.
I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Those are not, no, those are not related.
Yeah, I was like, I don't like, what a segue.
Yeah. Couldn't tell you about the safety glasses. They're awesome.
Yeah.
I know some people don't like them because they're not as, they don't have as much coverage as some stuff, but like,
I think
I think they're fine. They got side shields.
They got side shields. I really like how just fucking big.
Yeah.
Like they're big. And what fulfills me?
Yeah. What fulfills you? Like what makes you happy at the end of each day?
I mean, like the hokey answer is like you guys, like chatting with you guys is very fulfilling. Like having a good support system and stuff like that is nice. That we can like all crash out together is fun, and like uplift each other is nice. That makes me happy. I could not imagine like trying to do, I mean, I'd probably have a very different personality if I was doing like all of this shit solo, but like trying to like go through all of the stuff that's happening and has happened over like the last 2 to 5 years or whatever, like alone or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would be like very hard. So like having like, I mean, guys and like good family and other friends and whatever is good. I think that's very fulfilling.
For sure.
This will be a little cheesy, but honestly, for me, it's like achieving a little bit of machinist knowledge. Like when a part comes off the machine that it was like above my skill level until that part came off the machine, I feel pretty fulfilled. I spent a long time in a career doing like simulation type stuff, like designing of stuff, but not actually building it. I really like building stuff and like getting my hands dirty. So that for me has been like the best part of Toolpath is like actually making parts.
Yeah.
Solving new problems is what keeps me going. I'm sort of like pathologically attracted to finding new problems and gaining new knowledge. So I get really bored really fast when I'm like, nothing new to learn. Trying to get back into biking. I let Toolpath get in the way of my cycling for a long time. So I've been spending a little bit more time on my bike, really enjoying that. My goal there is to like bike enough that I feel justified in buying one of the framework bikes.
Nice.
I really want one. And like I'll have to ride a lot. Like I think like 4,000 miles a year before I feel like I could justify one of those. They're beautiful works of art, and the machining is amazing.
Yeah.
And the engineering is great. But like I also have a pretty nice bike already, and so like if I'm riding it like 1,500 miles a year, which I should be able to hit this year, then I'm like, probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
I have no concept of how much that is.
It's about 10 grand. For a full bike, about 7,500 US.
Oh no, I mean like 4,000 miles a year. Like I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Like I mean, I can do the math, but like that.
Yeah.
So it's about 100 miles a week.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Would be 5,000 miles a year.
Yeah,
it's a lot. Yeah. Well, it doesn't. I don't know. When you're like into biking, 100 miles a week. I don't know. Like I did 5,000 miles during COVID. And that was the most I ever did. But like that was all I had to do. Right. So yeah, I would say 5,000 is a lot. 3,000 should be very achievable for me, and anything in between there should be acceptable.
So 3,000 is what? 10 miles a day, more or less?
Yeah, but for me, I'll tend to do like 2 15-mile bike rides, which I can do in about 45 minutes. I have a couple of routes I really like. And then on the weekend, I'll do like 1 30 or 40-mile bike ride in like 2.5 hours. Okay. And that, if I did that every week consistently, that would get me where I go. I have an indoor biking set up too, like a virtual bike. So I can keep going on them.
Oh, cool. Winter, what's that?
It's when the temperature gets below 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah.
What is the temperature right now?
100 degrees Fahrenheit.
It is. Oh, it's only 82.
That's not too bad.
Not bad.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Winter. What is that?
Yeah.
Have you even been to Flagstaff ever?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. That's sometimes the coldest place in the U.S. during the winter.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
I would say, yeah, friends and family, like super fulfilling. It really is a highlight. And I'll say that like business wise, good customer interactions are always so much more fulfilling than like shipping parts for me. Like I love like getting a job done that I was really stressed about. But like if I have a really good conversation with a customer and walk away feeling like I've improved that relationship, I feel so much more fulfilled than the parts that come from that. Yeah. All right. Steel Co. asked, would love to know this from all three of you. Have you ever seriously considered closing down your business and going back to working for someone else? What period was this, and what was the main reason you didn't? Asking for a friend.
Yeah, I mean, not anymore, I would say, but probably like, I mean, I'd say like probably right after my mom died ish for that exact reason. You know,
fair.
and then like probably about a year prior to that when like the whole like the end of 22, early 23 when things were just like so bad.
Right.
Like just nothing was working. It's like, why am I doing this? You know? But it's I did like, you know, like one and I like cried. And I was like, no, fuck this. This is
Probably in the interview.
maybe. It was like not in person, it was over the phone.
Oh, okay.
But like it was like this is just like
If you cried in the interview and still got the job offer, mad props.
yeah.
Or also giant red flag.
Right. It's like, what is this guy doing? Yeah, but it was just like, no, I just don't want. This just feels bad. Don't want to do it.
The last 8 months have been really stressful at Toolpath. I've never seriously considered quitting, but I definitely have had some daydreams about like, okay, once this thing is successful, like once we get it to where it's like backing off and like, I don't know, going and working in a bike shop or
Tight.
going back to maybe making parts.
Right.
I don't know that I could ever be happy like working. I mean, I worked at NASA for a very long time, but I was the head of a project there. I can remember one time there where I thought about quitting pretty heavily when some stuff happened that I just like felt was fundamentally broken about the bureaucracy. And I was like, I don't think I want to be here. And I did go to job interviews. I didn't get the offers, or I probably would have left at that moment. So yeah, I mean, I think anybody who is in charge of a large business or a small business has moments when they realize that they left like what was in reality a pretty easy job to make their lives a lot harder for a sense of control. And you'd have to be like fundamentally insane to never question that or that outcome. But for me, they're daydreams in moments of like very deep frustration. Nothing has risen to the level of like action. Yeah.
Right.
But it's hard. It can be very hard. So I empathize a lot with that situation.
Same. Yeah. I've never gone as far as gotten job interviews, but I've definitely had, I can't think of like a specific time, but I've definitely had like thoughts of like, oh, you know, I don't want to be here and I don't want to do this. In those times, I really have to like go through the mental exercise of thinking about clocking in somewhere and working for someone else and realizing like, no, I hated that way more than anything that's happened right now.
And
like
you're going to stress yourself out the same fucking amount, no matter where you are. Cause you're like, it's not like the shop. I mean, it's the shop, but it's like your work ethic got you to where it is right now. And like, you're going to put yourself in that same fucking predicament just with somebody else's money. Pretty much.
Yep.
Like you're just like, oh, the amount of times that I used to be like, oh, I'll take this lower level job that pays well and I'll just chill. And then I'm like, oh, now I'm managing. Like that happened like 4 jobs in a row. And I was just like, before I started this company, it's like this is the only one that I haven't quit. So it's like, I'm where I need to be.
Yeah. I completely agree. All right. Becca Wolfinger asked, to everyone, what is your superpower? That one skill that you feel that you have that feels like pure magic to everyone else?
I don't know.
I read it and immediately was like, I'm uncomfortable thinking that way.
Oh, all right. I'll be weird and answer.
All right.
I've had to give this one a little bit of thought recently because of my son, actually, but I have 2 superpowers. One is a ridiculous work ethic, like insane, like 130 hours a week, you know, like fine for very, very long periods of time. That comes from like an ability to focus that I have given to my son. And I had to explain to him, like he came home really frustrated from school one day and was like, why don't the other kids like pay attention in math class? Like I'm here to learn and they're like making noises and like drinking their water and stuff. And I need to know this equation. And I was like, listen, man, your brain doesn't work the way other people's brains work. Like it just isn't the same for them. I don't know how else to explain it to you. What's that? Like, oh, I'm out of frame. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I've been out of frame for a while.
Good catch.
And then my other superpower is one that drove people nuts at NASA and in college. but I can usually guess what the answer to like some complex problem is. And let's say like to make up a number that I have no like way to validate, but is like empirically true. I'm right like 65% of the time.
I'm calling you Josie Wales.
But I can't tell you why the answer is right for usually like a while. And we have to sit there and like figure out if I'm right. And then like it looks like maybe I'm not right. And then in the end, it's like actually that
You're
was the
pretty close.
answer. Yeah. And it's really frustrating to people when like I can't tell you what the answer is. I'm just like, this is the answer. I've seen Zap do some stuff like that, like weird machine problems one time. And he was just like, I know what's going on. There's some parameter in the middle of this control that I have no business knowing, but like 14 years ago, I saw somebody change this thing. And so like, that's the answer, right? Or like, oh, the Blum and the Renishawa macros are fighting with each other on this specific line. Like that was, you jumped to an answer that you had no business knowing.
Yeah.
And like, so I can usually solve problems like that. And then I have to spend like more time backing out why the answer that I know is right is right and like justifying it to get other people on board. But it is definitely a superpower to like have some sort of way to guide yourself through some really nasty problem and just be like, look, I this is just where we're going to be. Yeah.
I guess like if I have to pick one, I can get along with, I don't know, get along with people, but
People seem to like getting yelled at by you.
yeah,
That's your
That
superpower.
is my super.
That is, yeah.
Yeah. Good at yelling at people in like a way that they're like more of that.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
you are right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
I don't understand why, but please keep yelling at me.
Yeah. That's why you're sitting here.
That's true.
Sitting here, baby.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of true. I guess along those lines, like I feel like one thing I'm pretty decent at is like finding common ground and being able to like sit down with almost anyone and like have a conversation about almost anything. Yeah, I would say that that's probably something I'm pretty good at.
Yeah, I like that.
Crash Thorn wanted to hear more about off-label Freddy usage.
Man,
Yeah.
I did go after the bees successfully. And as proof that I'm bad at Instagram, like I meant to post the entire saga in one post,
Yeah.
but then I just posted the first part. I've never gotten so much engagement. People are like, what happened with the bees? Oh my God.
Yeah. Now you realize it's like every video is like stick around for part 2.
Yeah.
Where's part 2? Part 2. Oh, Jesus.
But when I took the cover off the Freddy, like, because I sprayed the wasp killer like into the Freddy ahead of time, a few like came out and were very upset.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I didn't get stung. I did find where the wasp nest was coming in, or the wasp are coming in. I sealed it up. Other off-label uses for Freddy. I mean, I use it to clean up my saw. Is that on? I think that's on label.
That's on label.
Yeah.
Yeah. Simon told me about like doing a demo at like a place that makes soup or something.
Soup?
Yeah, like the most disgusting shit you've ever imagined with that thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's a vacuum. Everything is on label, baby.
Yeah.
Wet,
Yeah.
dry, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Cleaning out the chip tray or like chip bins that Wes set up with like the snorkel.
That was super cool.
Yeah.
I need to do that, I think.
So I guess that's like not off label. That's its intended purpose, but like a creative use of the Freddy for sure.
Yeah. If anybody hasn't seen Wes Beach's shop tour that Justin did,
Right.
It's on the Toolpath
It is on the
YouTube
Toolpath
channel.
Yeah.
Go check that out. That was really cool.
Yeah. Wes has a super cool shop. I seriously think that the Freddy actually needs to get like implemented in place of like paper band filter. Like it could serve the same, like an EcoVac. I don't know if it sucks and pumps at like an equal rate. I've never actually used an EcoVac. I'll have to Saunders got an EcoVac. I'll have to ask him, like challenge him to try it. But like literally like on the fly coolant cleaning, which I think they advertise as one of their uses, but like just actually tied to a machine and like hooked up to the control and everything. Like into the yeah. So I think that would be really
loud though.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah, it would be loud. That's true.
But yeah, it does work amazingly well.
Yeah.
I wish that he needs to come out Simon needs to release their skimmer that he like has kind of shown off in reels and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Because that would be great.
Washdown. I've seen people do washdown with Freddy.
Yeah.
But like if you had to clean out the thing anyway, you might as well wash down the machine.
Mhm.
That's all I got.
Yeah. What about you? Besides using mine to suck up some of the nastiest coolant I've ever seen.
That's a good.
Ooh, I got one more. I don't think Simon will like it, but I have had in moments where I thought about like welding an extra bung on the bottom of it so I could add like more capacity. Just because it like I need more than like, I don't know. I think mine's like 50 gallons or something, or 60 gallons.
Yeah.
That would definitely be off label.
Yeah.
I would love that too.
Yeah.
I really wish I had an EcoVac at this point.
I mean, when the second Hermley comes, like you're going to need one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see. Maybe I'll sell mine and buy an EcoVac or something like that. Or just have both, I guess.
Might be able to trade Easton. Right?
Oh, yeah. That's not a bad idea. I should talk to him. I don't know if he's used his for good or for evil, for oil or for coolant.
Probably both.
Yeah.
You know?
That might be.
I don't think it would matter.
Just got to clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. All right. Well, that kind of brings us towards the end. What have you guys been researching this week?
What have I been researching this week? I'm always like, fuck, I'm on the spot. I don't know.
I'll give you some cover.
Mostly, no, it's just been like Mastercam stuff. And I mean, just Mastercam stuff, really. Oh, and actually DMG stuff too. Because
what? Why do I have to reboot it 7 times?
Well, the code is just weird. Like it's like,
you know, we complain about that, but we reboot Fusion all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, today I was forced to reboot it about 10 times before it worked.
That was wild.
I actually have a trick. A trick.
Okay, well, we're definitely going to do that too. But what about you?
Tape and glue. The research was drawing information out of Brad's brain with some support from you. But tape and glue.
I feel like there was no support. I was just peeking around the corner to say snarky remarks
every
time I heard mine.
Yeah, there you go. And then I did a little bit of research that I'm hoping to put to good use on Heidenhain macro language.
Oh, cool.
So that I can try to automate your palette.
Q variables and all that fun stuff.
So I did some research into like what the process, like what the order was and thinking through the steps.
Cool. I have a bunch of programs you can look at too.
Good.
I have all of the stuff I need.
Cool.
It just needs to be modified for my machine. I was looking up Shelly products. They make like smart switches and stuff like that, but they also integrate with Home Assistant. So I keep hearing like Jamie talking about it and a bunch of other people talk about it. And so I need to put a server together anyway, like a real server, not a NAS. And so I'm thinking about running an instance of Home Assistant on there as well and using that to control a few lights in here. Like, for example, if you come in the back door here, you have to walk clear across the shop to get the light switches. And so I just want to replace those light switches with Shelly light switches and then have one of their smart buttons by the door.
You know, they make like those Wi-Fi light switches.
Yeah, but I don't know. It just feels like a half-assed kind of solution.
Yeah.
But I bought a bunch of stuff. It's actually behind you, Justin. One of the things that I bought was three-phase power monitor systems. And so I'm going to hook those up to each one of our panels and start tracking how much we're using.
Oh, like a loop?
Yeah. And it goes on each phase. You actually get true 3-phase power tracking. And so I can actually see like what the Permla uses and what, all the machines use. And
so is it going to frustrate you when you find out you absolutely could run both Permlas without any changes in power, but have to pay an electrician anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course it will.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm almost positive I can.
You just want to know.
I'm not worried. Like the changes that we need to have made and that we had quoted was not to add more power at this point. It was just to reorganize the panels. Because right now, that panel in the back corner has all of the machines on it. And then the other ones have like lights and, and I think all of them have an AC unit on it. And one of them has 2. And so he came out and took pictures of everything and is like, okay, if you're adding another 100 amps and you're removing a 30 amp, here's how we can kind of move everything around so that it's more equally loaded across the 3. Because it's 3. Is it 3 100 amp? Anyway, whatever. they're going to come in and just redo all that, which is still going to cost me. I think it was like $8,000, which is awesome. You know, just more money. So it just feels like I'm just getting bled dry at this point, but it'll be worth it for sure. All right. Cam tip, dude.
Yes.
Hit me with it.
I got one, and it's really not a huge one, but I just found it out and it has helped. Mastercam specifically is you can go into the configuration and allocate the maximum amount of that it can use. So you can like its defaults to like 50, and I ramped it up to like 75, and it's crashed way less.
Really?
Yeah. That's been like, somebody showed me that last week and they're like, did you know about this? And I was like, but I immediately did it, and it has made the like working with it just way nicer and way smoother, which is like, why is this
so low?
Yeah.
75 megabytes is the camera?
75% of my
your system memory. Oh.
Yeah. So that's which is like 40 something gigs. And so it's much better now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I've had to work a lot on constraining 3D toolpaths. Or ironically not for 3D machining, but for flat machining, which is Toolpath.
One of the most frustrating 3D toolpaths as well.
The trick that we've found is to do the thing that everybody seemed to say was the bad thing. No bounding geometry whatsoever, and just use touch avoid. They seem for now to have at least made touch and avoid work properly for that tool.
For flat.
So you exclude the entire model, and then you can just select the specific faces you want it to touch, and it does a great job. You like exclude the model and then add a touch, like change the default one to exclude and then add a touch for those specific surfaces. Yeah. And it honestly, it seems to work incredibly.
I do that same thing for any 3D toolpath that I'm using touch and avoid for. Change my model to red and then start selecting faces, because it's much easier than having to like select all of the surfaces I don't want to touch. Right. It's like, well, everything but this. And it's like, oh, or I can just change it around like that. I found out today, and I think I've come across this before. This is not a tip. It's just a frustration. You can't add a check surface or like an avoid surface in Deber.
Yeah.
At all?
It doesn't allow it.
No.
Or it says it doesn't allow it because you have fixturing.
Yeah.
But if you get rid of fixturing, it still doesn't allow it.
It drives me insane. Because like the part I was working on has these like little ears, and as it was coming down the ear, it was just like barely touching the surface. And I was like, I just want you to stay like 5/10 away. I was like, oh, I guess I can't do that. Right. I mean, I guess what I would do is I would just what I should have done is just created a surface, split it up into 2 deburs, split it up, and then created a surface 5/10 from that face, and then just included that as a model geometry.
Right.
And then it would have forced it to stay away. But so it seems like such an arbitrary thing. Like, why? As far as cam tips or tricks, don't know that I have a good one. I guess metrology is part of that too. We bought an indie square, which is like a vertical bearing riding indicator holder that you zero against a granite square, and then you can check squareness with it. Because we were having issues with that CMM, it was like, oh, this is a stopgap solution that I can buy immediately and be able to check squareness outside of the machine. And so we bought one of those, and that's pretty neat. It's very difficult to calibrate because you have to rotate the screw at the top. Like you zero it on the bottom of the granite, move all the way up, and then adjust the screw to kind of adjust the tilt. Yeah. But as you're adjusting it, it's like got enough drag on it that you actually end up shifting the whole unit over. And
that's tough.
Yeah. So calibrating, it's a little tough, but it is really cool.
3D printed calibration fixture.
Yeah.
Keep it in place.
On the topic of calibrating, but also meta glasses, I've been using them to like record shop, like instructional videos. And I'm actually hoping to put some of them on YouTube just in case. But like I went through the entire process of calibrating my brother, and it was a little bit deja vu because the last time I was out here, you went through the process of calibrating the Hermley, and you like were like stumbling through remembering it. And I was like, you should just videotape this. but I had to like follow you around with the videotape. But
Mhm.
with the meta glasses, you just video it, and it's like whatever you're looking at, and it works surprisingly well.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for an excuse to buy the meta glasses, like you
They're-
can justify it for like shop video stuff.
Very affordable.
Yeah.
Truly, for like what they are. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of insane.
Yeah.
And like when I was like, I went to like I had 2 weddings like back to back weekends. Insane. Like such a good, like, check these out, like topic of conversation for sure. Like they're just so cool.
Yeah.
Especially it's like, here, put these on, listen to this music.
Right.
Like, dope.
Yeah. And they don't look ridiculous either.
No, it looks sick.
Like that's the cool part about
Yeah.
them.
Right.
Like they look a little thicker than normal Ray-Bans.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't need another reason to buy them, but
Yeah, you do.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get some for the shop for the same reason. Like
Yeah.
I need to be able to document that stuff. By the way, I looked at that video like a week after you left
Oh yeah.
because I had to do it again, and I was like, "There's one part that I always screw up," and I just like scrolled back. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's how I do that." Okay, cool.
Mhm.
So it was immediately helpful. I
Right.
appreciate you pushing me to do that.
But like it becomes, I didn't appreciate how much easier it was. Like, oh, I just have these on me. I'm just gonna record this right now.
Yeah.
Versus having to like go get the Osmo and like put it on a tripod and like get the frame right. Like the friction is just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
and then it syncs like to your phone and stuff.
No, I'm excited
Yeah.
to be able to just create more content. Like I know I saw CJ got some as well.
Oh
Like
yeah.
seeing some videos that he's been posting. I'm like, this is really cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really neat. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you driving down from Phoenix and you coming out for a few days. It's always just great to have friends in the shop, and especially when all 3 of us get to hang out.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very rare.
Fucking best.
Yeah. It really is. Thanks to new Patreon members, Chris Chow and Chris McIntosh. Chris and Chris, you guys make the show possible. All of the Patreon make the show possible. Thank you all for listening, and I will be back next week.
Yeah. Bye.